Hello. Thank you for considering applying for one of our Solicitor apprenticeship schemes. Both schemes are an ideal opportunity if you are looking for an alternative to university, or if you'd prefer to not go down the traditional route of qualifying as a solicitor. How you complete your application form is really important. This could be the first contact you've had with us at Ashton's Legal, and obviously you'll want to make the right first impression. Most of the application form is straightforward. It just asks you a number of simple generic questions like your name, your date of birth, your address, your preferred office location, for example. However, there is a section on the form which starts at question 10, where we're asking you to answer a number of questions in more detail. This is where we would like you to consider your answers more carefully. So here's a little bit of advice for you on how you might consider what answers you give us. So to start at question 10, that asks why you've applied for an illegal apprenticeship. And I suspect the most common answer here will be because you want to qualify as a solicitor, but you do not wish to, or you are unable to go to university to do that. In this question, please highlight here what attracts you to an apprenticeship, what you think appeals to you about qualifying down that route, and what you might learn, because it could potentially last 6 years or it could last 3 years. So demonstrate that you've given this route a lot of thought, please. Question 11 asks what qualities you can bring to your apprenticeship with us. So this is really your first opportunity to sell yourself to us. So your answer to this question will really help us start to build a picture and understand more about you as an individual. So tell us about the kind of person that you are, a little bit more about your personality, how you interact with people, how you interact with your college friends, how you interact with family and other friends. Think about perhaps how you might handle a difficult situation or a tricky situation that you found yourself in, and we were happy for you to include any examples of that if you feel that will support your application in more detail. So moving on to question 12, which asks what is it about law that interests you? And your answer to this question should really consider what it is about law that makes you want to do this as your future career. So please include here what research you've done, what areas of law have piqued your interest and perhaps why. What sort of research have you done about it? So really convince us that you've given this a lot of thought. Question 13 asks about your work experience. So please complete all of your work experience here, however irrelevant you think it might be. We appreciate that some people, due to pandemic and all of that kind of thing, may not have had the opportunity to carry out any work experience, and that's absolutely fine. But just pop that on the application form for us, if you would, please. And sort of the final question in this section is question 14, and it talks about hobbies and interests. And it's quite a simple question, but another question that really helps us to build a picture of who you are. So please add anything here that you like to do in your spare time. For example, you might be in a football team or a hockey team, netball team. You might like to knit, you might like to crochet, you might like to do a bit of woodworking. Whatever you do in your spare time is fine, but just add it, let us know. It might be that you just like to sit quietly and read a book, or you might like to loaf on the sofa and watch whatever's on Netflix. Again, include that because it helps us build a picture of who you are. And really that's it. That's all we're asking from your application. So it's not complicated and it's not long, and it is really quite straightforward. I will give you one final tip before you send us your application is please check your spelling, your grammar and your punctuation. It's really important that you make sure that you've read it, reread it, and then perhaps read it again, or even get somebody else to read it for you. And only when you're happy with the content of that, press send, because it will come straight through to us and you can't make any changes at that point. So just leaves me to say good luck. We look forward to receiving all of your applications and reading those, and then talking to you about next steps. So good luck.